When I sent my son to a summer camp once, I felt good about the safety part, but I didn't know to look beyond the zip lining, STEM projects, swimming in the lake, and adventurous field trips. 3 days after he checked him in, I had to go pick him up. And we are joined by Rania Mankarious. Of course, she's back with us and been with us for the last several segments talking about camp safety. By the way, she is a mom of 3 herself and has a master's degree in family counseling. And joining her is Dr. Caesar Wright, president of KenoX, who runs several technology camps, often helps parents figure out which programs best fit their child's needs. All right, what I didn't check was, and camp safety, we've talked about that part, but to make sure it's a great experience for your child, make sure you're not picking a camp that sounds good to you, but works for them. Yeah. So my son's an only child, and at check-in, everybody had to dump their phone, and there was absolutely zero communication, zero. And I got a phone call, and they said, no one's ever left this camp before, but he's in here, and he's insisting to talk to you, and we're like, no, you cannot talk to your parents. And he goes, okay, so I think you probably should come get him, because he's like, well, if you don't get me, then I'm going to go.
I'm leaving.
Right? I'm leaving. I'm leaving. And then I asked him, I go, well, what went wrong? I thought you were going to enjoy all those things. He said, Mom, when I went in to check, I wanted to make sure you and Dad were safe. It's the first time I've ever been away from you. And he goes, all I could think about is all the mommies and daddies are going to come pick up their kids, and I'd be standing there because something happened to y'all. He goes, I just wanted to know you were okay.
Oh my God.
And Caesar, you were saying there are ways to mitigate stuff like that.
Right. So in that case, the sentiment he was expressing was very legitimate, and just showing a little bit of understanding and saying, you know what, that's legitimate, but we have rules and we need to enforce rules. So what we're going to do, we're going to check on your parents every day. We're going to give you a status update. We're going to let you know that they're okay. But
your mom is at the mall shopping right now. She's good.
Exactly. But just sort of acknowledging and making students the sort of center of that experience, and understanding they're all coming at it from different perspectives. And to me, that's one of the things that, and you mentioned this, when you're applying to your kids to a camp, there's 2 things you need to initially think about. One is, am I applying them to this camp because I would have liked to have gone to the camp when I was a kid, but your kids are very different from you, generally. They may not want to go to the same camp you wanted to go to. I wanted to go to ninja camp when I was a kid. And if I had kids, maybe they would want to go, but maybe not. And then understanding, what is your kid interested in, and how can you connect this to something that's academic, that is going to...
Which you're seeing more of those now. We're going to talk a little bit about one of your camps that you have, or some of the camps you have, academic, and even connecting the dots to college.
Right. So I'm a firm believer that, the direct path to college is getting your kids excited about things that connect to their strengths and their interests, so that they can be their sort of epic, unapologetic self. And whatever that means, maybe they're interested in anime or jujitsu or robotics or whatever it is, but you can always, if you try, find a way to connect that back to academic skills, but also in a way that's going to build a narrative that's going to help transition them to being very competitive at top 20 colleges. And why the top 20? Maybe that's not where you want to go, but if you are competitive at Rice, MIT, Stanford, top 20 universities, you're getting in everywhere else, but you're getting in with scholarships.
I knew my son should have stayed at that camp. I knew I shouldn't have picked him up. All right. We have several questions here. One of the questions is from Elaine. At what age can I even consider sleepaway camp, and for how long?
It really depends on the maturity of your child. I always say my golden rule for what age questions is age, maturity, and honesty. You have to have an honest conversation with your child. Okay, are you ready? You'll be sleeping away from mommy and daddy for 5 days, 6 days, whatever.
But Susie and Mitzi are going, and I want to go too.
But how will you feel if there is a storm, if there is something that happens, if your friends don't play with you that day, you could have the best time. So honest conversations, see their real answers. You'll be able to tell from their answers if they're mature enough to navigate those situations. And then, again, by age, I think some kids are too young to go away to camp for, 5-year-olds shouldn't be away from mommy and daddy for 2 weeks personally, but camps don't really accept them at that young. So I do think age, maturity, and honesty is the key.
All right. Bethany says, besides the online star ratings, is there a way to check if a camp has serious complaints against it? I know sometimes settlements are hidden, but it doesn't mean something bad didn't happen.
Well, that was our problem back in 2018, 2015, 16, 17, when we started studying camps. There was nowhere to go. It was a word of mouth, or I heard, or let me call the camp owner, who really didn't have a duty to disclose anything. And so that was one of the things we fought for, is having a registry or some type of place where parents could actually go get information. So we're hoping now that that's changed.
All right, Mason, I'm that parent. My daughter wants to go away to camp with her friends this summer. They are basically good kids, but have been caught in some mischief that I think will magnify away from home. My wife and I are heavily leaning toward not letting her go, and she is so disappointed. Are we being irrational, given most kids come back from camp fine? All right, well,
That's a tricky one.
Yeah, it is,
Well,
because
your child's
guess
already
what?
giving
If
you
they're into mischief, they can get into trouble at home too.
And maybe it's a good opportunity for them to be in a new environment, under different leadership, where they will find that that mischief is not as fun as they thought it was back at home. Maybe it's going to help them reset their definition of what fun is and what you can do when you're away. I mean, for me, it's try and see, and let your child know that there will be ramifications, that you've asked the camp to let you know if there's any issues. You will be at the camp the next day if there's a problem. But why not try and let them see, because it could be very good for them.